Hi all, in this video we are going to discuss about the evolution of industrial safety, how the workplace safety moved from a neglected cost to an engineered data driven disciplines from 1877 to present. Here is the origin of safety. An industry, how it is built without a safety net. So, before the regulations, American factories ran very fast by using cheap machineries in dangerous conditions. Employees have little financial reasons to change, and injured workers had almost nowhere to turn. So, here are the three parts. First one is they have to quit the job, second one is the self insure, and third one is the sue and loss. So, they have to quit the job means they have to move to another industry since they are need of wages in order to avoid the dangerous conditions. Next one is that some private insurances have been paid when they are injured or at death. And last one is the sue and loss, where it is taken to the court. Workers almost never won. So, as a result, with the legal records a dead end, workplace safety carried no financial cost for industrialists. And this is the situation from 1877 to 1910, the turning point where the law plays a vital role than the money. So, two milestones, decades apart, there was a good initiative for this safety. So, in 1877, the first safety law was being framed and made mandate, where the bells, gears, and shafts should have a proper physical guarding system, and then the fire exit. Buildings were required to provide efficient means for escape. So, in 1910, the Newark Phillips who pays for injuries. So, they had been paid with some compensation. The Workmen's Compensation Law has enforced automatic reimbursement for injuries. There is no lawsuit required. So, the liability, a real cost, has become the safety which shifts from sunk cost to investment. From 1910 to 1921, the safety becomes a national system. Over 43 states followed the Newark's lead by 1921, each passing its own workers' compensation law. The spread of compensation law began in Newark and rapidly reshaped the legislation nationwide. So, the National Safety Council was framed in 1913 for the personal safety, equipment safety, and PPE, that is the personal protection equipment, which became mandatory. So, in personal, the managers were tasked with actively discovering the workplace dangers. So, first they have identified what are the dangers spots in the workplace, and then the equipment. So, enterprises began engineering inherently the safety machineries, which is very useful for the industries. And then we had the PPE, that is the hard hats and safety glasses became standard on job sites. Here is the recurring pattern where the progress stalls whenever the demand spikes. So, during the World War times, the economic booms was in a very vast scale where the safety enforcement routines took a backseat to the protection. What happens is that the most vulnerable workers has been put into the dangerous jobs. So, the carving of mass protection was the main reason. So, each boom pulled the highly vulnerable groups, children, women, and immigrants, into the labor force in massive numbers, often into a leader legislated roles. So, there we don't have any safety measures followed during the economic boom, where we are in the term of protection which is required in a massive scale. So, this was the bigger picture, the two eras and the two philosophies. One is from 19th to the 20th century, and next one is the modern era. So, in 19th to 20th century, there is negligence and compliance, where they were mainly focused on the raw profit, uninterrupted output, and the worker's role was expandable and bears the risk. But in the modern era, we have the safety management systems, which is SMS. Here we have the holistic protection, and it is mainly focused on the systematic health and investigation of the workers. And here the role of the workers wherein they had been well trained and they do participate actively in the protection. And how it works today, and this is the modern architecture of safety where the humans are prevented from the death, and also the environment is also protected. So what has been done to prevent the death and protect the environment? We have built an intensive accident investigations wherein it has been done with upgrading the technologies, refining the processes, and also the training has been advanced in all aspects. And here is something about learning from the extremes, from guarding the machines to understanding people. So we had high consequences industrial disasters in the nuclear energy and space flight, pushed the safety science past mechanical guarding towards the deeper roots of human error and organizational blind spots. So in 1875, physical guarding of machineries has not been done, it was just started. In 1910, the financial liability for injuries has been initiated. In 1913, it was shared and some policies has been framed under the national safety, and the data have been kept as repositories. And today we have a systematic safety plannings. Here the human centered SMS is nothing but the safety management system helps a lot. Therefore, safety is no longer a cost of doing business, it is how the business survives. Thank you.